peace, family, peace. Let
Word.
me
What
greet,
up?
let
What
me
up? What
greet,
up?
let me greet everybody in the Taino language,
Sí,
and that's
seguro.
Maboika ituno
Oika.
kina atiaono. Maboika.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that
dope.
means
That's
welcome, sisters and brothers. Rahubat, Zamal, Zamatet. First, women first, Zamatet and Zamal. Rahubat. Bienvenido a mi hermano,
sí, seguro.
bienvenido.
Sí,
So let me
seguro.
introduce you, man. I'm so honored.
Hey,
Let me
man,
tell
I'm
you
honored,
something.
man. I'm
This is
happy,
one of
man.
my
Uh,
this is one of my teenage. Well, yeah, I was a teenager when I went there.
that's right.
Friends, bro,
That's right. That's
acquaintance,
right.
and
That's right.
we're gonna go. We're gonna take it back then. I'm gonna let you know, where we're coming from. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So this is a
That's right.
special treat. Let me
Hey.
introduce you to my brother
Yeah.
Wasiel, right? You know Wasiel on Facebook. So anybody want to find
Peace.
you there?
That's
And
right. Come on through.
yeah, and what other name? What name do they know you by in the music industry?
Wasi, most of the time,
There you go,
Wasi. And that's
Wasi.
been basically for the last 40 or 50 years of my life.
Great. And we're gonna man. So you got a huge an immense and a huge historical background. So
Wow, man.
first question I always ask every guest is, what instrument do you play, my brother?
I am a drummer. I am a professional drummer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other instruments you dabble with? Because
Yes,
I see your work.
yeah, I play most of the instruments. I mean, piano, guitar,
Mm-hmm.
bass, guitar,
Mm-hmm.
because in order to be a musician,
Mm-hmm.
it would be very important for any of
Mm-hmm.
us to learn how the family of instruments, the family of musical
True.
instruments, that they all have a spirit. Each instrument
That
has its own, and
right on point.
you can express yourself once you
Mm-hmm.
get in tune with the spirit of that instrument. This
Mm-hmm.
is very
Mm-hmm.
important. Even if you're playing three notes on a guitar, that's
Right.
that's better. That's better than not ever
Mm-hmm.
picking a guitar up in your life. You know what
There
I
you
mean?
go. There you go. To have that respect for those instruments, very important.
Yeah, man,
And
it's very
so,
important.
so let's start from the very beginning. Where was Wasi born? Where were you born, my brother?
Yeah, man. I was born in Jamaica, Queens, New York, man.
New
And
York in the house.
yeah, man, New York in the
Queen.
house, man. And New
Uh,
York is always been the center of the height in every
mhm.
aspect of entertainment. So I was
True.
lucky. I was lucky
Hmm.
because I came up in an area where
Hmm.
where I grew up. I lived four blocks away from James Brown's house. You know,
Mm.
three
That's
blocks
when
away
James
from
Brown used to have a house out there in
on
Queens,
Linden
right? Yeah.
Boulevard. That's right.
Linden Boulevard. That's right. That's
Three
right.
blocks away from that, Count
Nice.
Basie. You know,
Mm.
you know,
Wow.
Count Basie, man. So I mean, I was lucky. I was lucky. You
Good.
know,
Yeah,
and
man.
and
Yeah,
every day
man.
we're still lucky.
Yeah. And so when did you start playing? I mean, at what age?
Well, when I was a kid, in this neighborhood of Jamaica, Queens, it
Mm-hmm.
was it was very difficult as a child
Mm-hmm.
to go into somebody's house in this in
Mm-hmm.
this Jamaica, Queens, right here in St. Albans. It was
Mm-hmm.
difficult to go in somebody's house and there wasn't a piano there. There wasn't an
Mm-hmm.
upright bass guitar there.
I grew up
There
like that
wasn't there.
too.
Yeah, there wasn't some sheet music hanging around or
Mm-hmm.
sitting around. It was
True.
difficult to do that. Most of the little guys, when we were
Mm-hmm.
kids, when I was 6 years old, I went
Mm-hmm.
into a friend of mine's house. His father used to
Mm-hmm.
play with Duke Ellington,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and he was an upright bassist. Jamil Ibrahim, that was his name.
Mm.
And
Okay.
Jamil's best friend, who was a drummer, Hamid Zori,
Mm-hmm.
gave a drum set to him for his three
Mm.
sons. Jamil had three sons, in my age group. We were 6 and 7 years old, 5 and 6. And
Okay.
when I first saw those drums, man, that was it for me. I mean, that was my friend's drum set,
Done deal.
but I practically lived at his house, and he had to throw me out. He said,
Throw you.
yo man,
You just
the drums are not working
wow.
today. And
Yeah.
he turned out to
At
he
six
turned
years
out to be a
old.
great yeah man. He turned out to
Uh,
be a great drummer. His name is
mm,
Ismail Ibrahim. He turned out to be a
nice.
great drummer, and we were lucky.
Mm,
We were lucky in Jamaica, Queens, because we had the
mm,
influences of Walter Perkins. Walter Perkins, Baby Sweet. He was my
mm,
first drum teacher, and that gentleman
mm,
had been all over the world. He toured. He was with several groups in the 50s and the 60s. You know, him, Art Blakey, you know, Max Roach, you know, all these cats were friends, you know. And man, I mean, you were really lucky growing up in this neighborhood. There were so many bands. You know how the gangs got gangs. Well, the bands, we had bands. It was the fight against the bands. You know, everybody.
nice environment, bro.
and everybody used to say, "Yo, man, you guys from Queens are a little bit special because you know why? You guys got a basement and a garage. You know, some cats grew up in Harlem and you know Brooklyn was commercialized. You know, make too much noise, the neighbors is on your case. But in this instance, we definitely had an opportunity that was very unique, and I'm grateful for it. You know, had a chance to rehearse a lot of times, play, make just a lot of noise in the garage. Nobody would bother you. Neighbors wouldn't bother you.
I grew up something similar like that, you know, especially when I went up to the North Bronx, it's just, it looks like Queens because you got houses and garage and everybody at that time, everybody wanted to be cool, the next cool in the gang.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
brass construction.
That's right. The Bronx is strong and heavy.
I knew the rhythm makers that became GQ later, they were from that area.
That's right. Area. The Bronx is strong and heavy with music. No doubt about it. That's right. So many
Queens
contributions.
held their own. Yeah, Queens. So so tell me something. In your family, were there any musicians in your family?
Well, no.
You were the first?
Yeah, there were no musicians, but you know what? That strong musical influence was so prominent. It was so prominent. My mother worked in a bar. This is another lucky angle for me. She worked in a bar, and she worked in the post office, but she worked in a bar on her part-time. Every single record that the man, and I used to wait for this man. He used to come to the jukebox and change out the old stuff for the new stuff. And my mother would get all the stuff. So we had every record they ever made. And plus, my mother being older than me, my mother had me at 32 years old. So when I was 10 and 11, she was in the 40s, 45. So them being older than me, my sisters and brothers are 10 and 12 years older than me. So you know, these things turned out to be such a plus because I had been groomed with music that I wasn't even in the era of exactly.
So that's true, that's classic.
How lucky is
that? Classics, bro.
How lucky is that?
Classic. Yeah, very lucky.
A little boy, man, I was digging on Nat King Cole and Frank Sinatra and all these. I was a kid. I was a little baby boy. People were like, the kids don't listen to that.
No, but for those who aspire to be musicians, man, I strongly advise and suggest that you look up those classics. You know, Nat King Cole was an excellent piano player. You gotta peep that out. Yeah. And you know, all the musicianship back then, you know, listen to that stuff.
And the lucky thing about me when I grew up with the music and my parents not being musicians, but the mere fact that in Queens is another little jewel. In Queens, they had a place called the Linden Manor. And they had a place called Club Ruby. And they had a place called Copa City. Now I'm talking now. I jumped out of my age category. Now I'm coming from my parents' influence now. Meaning in those places in Copa City, right in Jamaica, Queens, right a few blocks off of Jamaica Avenue, there was Sarah Vaughan. There was Lena Horne. You understand? Ella Fitzgerald performing there. You know, you can just go there, just like walk right there. Billy Eckstine. You know, these are the great names in jazz music. You know, Milt Hinton. You know, just right there, just performing right down the block, man. And see, so my parents they were very influenced by that because my father knew Sarah Vaughan. He had every record Sarah Vaughan ever made.
Wow. And my mother was like that.
Yeah, Dinah Washington.
Dinah Washington, yeah.
Look, where I used to live, Lena Horne used to live down the block. You understand?
Wow. Yeah.
That's the kind of influence that was a strong influence here with music, jazz music. A gentleman named Hassan Hakim
Mm-hmm.
His son is a world renowned, great, famous drummer, Omar
Yeah.
Hakim. He's worked with
Omar Hakim.
every
Powerful.
look. Look,
Top
we all
drum.
grew up
Yeah.
together. Marcus Miller, Bernard
Nice.
Wright,
Marcus
Tom.
Miller. Yeah, I
Yeah,
played with
that's
Marcus
right.
before. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Marcus
that's
Miller.
how that influence and out
Mm-hmm.
here was, man. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
everybody, all that energy. It was just a lot of that musical, creative music energy out here. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
grateful for
Because
that.
I read a lot about a lot of the stories that biography of a lot of these artists, and it's true, because Queens was considered like an uppity place where everybody wanted to
What
move to, and at that era musically,
right,
that
right,
was like
right,
yeah,
but the thing about Queens was the fact that it was the getaway spot. Meaning,
yes,
Harlem is commercial. Brooklyn is very
very
commercial.
commercial.
This was like the suburb. Getaway. Like all these cats,
Get
all
away.
these people moved out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was like
Mhm.
getting off the scene. For
Yes,
them.
I
We don't
agree.
want, we don't want to be bothered. Like we get
Mhm.
out to Queens, because Queens was a
Mhm.
farm. This was all
Mhm.
farmland.
Yeah,
It was
yeah, like the
quiet.
Bronx,
Yeah,
like the Bronx is the
yeah,
same way. The Upper Bronx.
exactly. The Upper Bronx.
So, Wasi, in your youth, do you remember the first band when you actually started to say like, "Yo, I want to be in a band"? You remember the first band you played with?
Man, let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something, man. I was a lucky kid. You hear me? Because I had a gentleman that lived down. I lived in an apartment building when I was, like 5 and 6. My mother
Hmm.
finally moved out of the house with my father and left. They
Yeah,
broke up.
yeah.
So my mother moved into an apartment building, American Towers. That's the name of it,
Mm.
Linden and Merrick.
Okay,
And
okay.
there was a gentleman down the hall from where I lived. His name was Gregory
Hmm.
Pinkney, bassist. He was in a
Okay,
band called the Family Tree. Darnell Simpkins in the Family
okay.
Tree. And I was maybe about 13, 14,
Hmm.
but I used to hear these cats rehearsing, man. In down the hall, man. I hear that music, man. I, I,
Wow.
I sat down in the hall right by the door until somebody opened
Right.
the door, man.
Nice.
And yes, I
Nice.
did. And then when
When
I
you
found
want
out
it,
this,
you go for it.
that's right. When I
Yeah.
found out, I said, "Yo, this cat's a musician." Next thing you know,
Yeah.
man, I was begging him to take me, anywhere he went, and I was lucky because you know what, he did just that. He went told my mother, asked my mother for permission, and
Okay.
took me, man, around bands, when I was too young to go anywhere by myself. And I used
Hmm.
to sit there, man, sit behind Bruce Ceelos, the drummer, and other
Hmm.
cats that played drums. And I used to
Hmm.
sit there and watch these guys' feet and their hands. So all of that, all of that is a part of the making. But the first
Okay.
band I worked with, once I
Hmm.
got my little able to keep a beat and all, I used to,
Right.
the guys in the community used to say, "Oh, this guy could play, he could keep a
Hmm.
beat." They go get me for the church. So the first bands I worked with was all in the little churches in the neighborhood, all the little churches.
Okay.
And I used to like that
Okay.
because there's always a lot of nice looking girls that I never knew how to get their
Yeah.
attention or anything. I
Right,
didn't have
right.
no, I
Oh, the
didn't have
church was
no,
it.
yeah, take me to
The best
church. I don't
crowd.
care. I'll
Yeah,
play for
yeah,
free. So, but
yeah,
that was
yeah.
it. And then on a professional level, when I got like
Mm-hmm.
17, I worked
Mm-hmm.
with some of these guys from high school. I went to Cardoza High School, and there was a lot of kids into acid rock and Led
Mm-hmm.
Zeppelin and Cream and Jeff
Mm-hmm.
Beck and all these people. So I got in
Mm-hmm.
a little rock band
So you got
in high
exposed to
school.
that rock. That's good. That
Oh
gives
yeah,
you
oh yeah.
a good influence. Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's funny that these kids basically used to play more Hendrix than anything else. They loved all the other
Mm-hmm.
bands, but Jimi Hendrix
But the
was
Hendrix was cement, and yeah.
that was,
Who did?
and I was
Buddy Miles was on drums
Buddy
once for
Miles.
him
That's right,
for
Buddy
the
Miles.
bands of gypsies.
Yeah, yep, that's right. You
But
know your business. You know your
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
And
yeah, man.
yeah,
I was
and
that kid full reading the albums. You know what I'm
that's right.
saying?
You just right
Listening
because
to it and reading the albums,
we want to
captivated
know
by
who's
it.
doing this. Yeah, we
Yeah, I
want to know
want to know who's
who's.
making this.
That's
What
right.
is this? Who's doing
That's
this?
right. Who's doing it? And you know what? My school, I was in the
Mhm.
jazz band in the school, man. And
I was gonna
I
ask
got
you that.
news. I got news for you, man. When I come in there, man, it was only 3 drummers, man, and I was
Uh-huh.
one, and these 2 other guys, a couple Italian dudes. So what happened is when I come in there, man, these cats didn't want to play the drums, man, no more. They would get up, and I didn't ask them to get up. I was like, yo, man, I don't want you to get up. I want to see. I want to learn from you too. Don't be moving because I came in. But these cats would get out the way. They would move.
And so like that was similar to for me.
And then they have me playing, and at that time, I could never really sight read very well. I could tell what's there, but I wasn't proficient at it.
Right.
So these guys, man, used to tell me, they would stand behind me and say, "Okay, do a roll here. Okay, accent. Right. There's an accent right here. Eighth note accent. Hit this." And I'm standing there saying, and then Mr. Jacobs, the music teacher, he would stop the whole band. Wait, everybody stop. And the whole band would stop. And he said, "You're all doing it wrong. All of you, except him." And point right at me. And man, I would shrink in the chair because he embarrassed me, But for him, he was a real jazz cat. He knew who John Coltrane and Bird Parker and Dizzy, and Tito Puente. He knew who these people were. And I was a kid. I was just happy to be in the class,
That's so similar to what I experienced in high school with the professor was William Sosa. He helped me get
Sosa.
He helped me get. He was a saxophone player, and he was in his office. He'll sit us down and play all these albums, man, jazz classics, Coltrane, everything. He's the one that helped me get into NYU.
Oh, wonderful, man.
Yeah, as with a scholarship,
All right, cool. Man.
But now let's bring it to you. So you played in a few bands, right? When was the first professional? I mean, for everybody to know, we met at what they call the Ansala University. It was like a university setting. You had a restaurant, you had a bookstore, and we had the Hall of Knowledge. I remember getting instructors. Suleiman Sisi was a Senegal instructor for language, and the children there used to teach us Quranic
recitation. That's right. That's right.
And
Fusa. Yeah.
And so it was a university. Matter of fact, they used to call it the University of Truth. And I was right in Bushwick, Brooklyn. But now this university also had a group called Passion. Talk to us about Passion. When was the first time you got involved with Passion and the singer Dr. York?
Oh, wow.
Know about the name, but when was the first time that you got exposed to that?
Man, let me tell you something, man. I was a lucky guy, man, because at 19 years old, man, I met a cat named Dr. York, the guy you're talking about him. You know him. And this guy was awesome. And I mean, I have so much respect for the fact that I've never seen anybody operate as thorough as this gentleman. This is the guy who instilled a lot of quality in me as a musician and as a human being. You know what I mean?
Same here.
And I'm gonna tell you something. When it came to music, I've never seen anybody as proficient as Dr. York. I've never seen anybody strive for excellence.
So people don't know that Dr. York started as a singer, background singer. I've seen pictures of him with Marvin Gaye, where he was Ladies' Choice. I've seen pictures with him with in the studio with Stylistics, Delphonics, and you can hear his voice in the background. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he comes from that school. You know what I'm saying?
He's a great singer. Yeah,
great singer, and
he's a great singer. Yep.
Yeah, really, really, really.
Many. I spent many years with Dr. York over there at Passion Studio, and we've been on tour. We've been on tour, local stuff, not out of the country.
Right.
But and
talk to us about some of those tours. What were you doing with I remember the schools that you were going to the schools.
The band. Man, we did Clara, but almost every school in the metropolitan area, man. We did performances.
I remember.
And they were set up to raise funds, scholarship funds to help other students, to help the students, young, underprivileged, and Black students, Latino, todo familia, you know, helping us get that next step to get into colleges of our choice and so forth. Millions of dollars. I'm quite sure millions of dollars we raised. We did performance, and our performance, because of Dr. York, because of his style of just how he operates. Our show was an Earth, Wind, and Fire show. When anybody who sat in front of one of our shows, it was totally awesome. I mean, nice. and this is something that if you went to see Earth, Wind, and Fire at that time when they were big, and you paid $500 a seat or $250. Look, our shows, you didn't have to pay anything. I mean, this was for the schools.
And you talk about the lightings, the pyrotechs, the lightings,
the pyrotechs,
the sound.
And this was Dr. York. This was him. All of that. I mean, we could have been a corny little band just being a band running around, but it was nothing like that. It was nothing of the sort. This was one of the most professional acts. Matter of fact, we used to laugh because Doc used to love all of Blue Magic. Of course, you know who he loved.
Well, I met Ted Mills, as a matter of fact, by hanging out with Dr. York.
That's right. And he used to sing in his set. Of course, he had a lot of the Blue Magic. But the point I'm making is, he sounds so good that, and the band, because of his level of excellence, they wouldn't get on the stage with us. They would never do a show with us.
Right.
We sound better than the original acts that we were singing. We were singing their material.
I got to witness some of that. Yeah.
We sound better. Our show was much better than their show. And when you came and saw Dr. Yo's show, you didn't just see a bunch of musicians playing. You saw the level of class. Like if you see Beyonce or Mariah Carey, you know, you see one of them shows with
extravaganza.
Classy,
extravaganza, classy,
very classy, man. You know what I'm saying? That's interesting. And at the same time, fun. You know what I'm saying? We had a big piece of paper that filled the front of the stage, and Doc used to jump right through the paper. You know, passion.
Nice, yeah. Boom.
And he jumped right through the paper.
Nice. Yeah. And the stepping and the
people jumping out of their seats like, oh, what's going on? Doc hit the mic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was definitely one of the
great performance. I've ever. I remember him, the studio he built in Bushwick, state-of-the-art studio. Tell us about that. The board. You told me about the board because we had a conversation about that board because I met Kenny Gamble right there in the corner of Passage Studio, and I was speaking with him. And so tell us about that. I mean, he got a board and I remember when we purchased, I say we, but I mean Dr. York purchased the Harrison board, 48 channel board. This was a board that Teddy Pendergrass, most of his hits, he bought it from Kenny and them down at Sigma Sound in Philadelphia. But that was the board that all of Teddy's hits were made on, you know what I mean? Wow,
and McFadden, Whitehead, and all of that. So I mean, around the era that he bought it, you know, it was like,
remember that was a state-of-the-art studio, man.
Yeah, that studio was.
Well, Force MDs were recorded there, right? They came through there. Force MDs. Now we were speaking before, Force MDs, and he had a group called Petite.
But
tell us, because we spoke, and you told me an awesome story, bro, about one of my all-time favorite. Tell us that story about, you know who I'm talking about.
Stevie. Stevie? Oh,
Stevie Wonder.
Well, we were in the studio working with a gentleman named Edwin Birdsong. Bird is everybody in the business knows Bird, and he was recording another record, and you know, doing it all himself at this point in time. He had gotten out of certain record deals and finally got, you know, a chance to do Bird, you know.
Right.
So
at
he was
over studio. He was doing all this at the Passion Studio.
Yeah, that's right. So he came by, you know, and he had some time booked with us to do a couple tunes on a record, an album that he was releasing. So Bird was kind of running up a high bill, man. And we used to laugh and heckle in the studio saying, you think Bird's gonna be able to pay this, man? Me and the engineer Daoud and a couple
Yeah, I
cats,
remember that. Yeah.
Tron and a couple cats. We used to heckle a little bit. Like, you think this guy
Mm-hmm.
could? Is he gonna straighten it? He's up in the thousands, like 10 grand,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So so Bird comes to the session and he sits down and we say to him, well, Bird, you know, when you gonna straighten this out, man? Yeah, man, don't worry
Mm-hmm.
about that. I got you covered. Everything is cool. Let's push the record button. Let's get this thing on. We were like, all right, Bird, are you clocking more time? Look, I got this covered. He said, give me the
Mm-hmm.
phone. Give me the phone. He grabs the phone. He says, Aisha, where's your father at? And then next thing when he hangs up, we say, well, who was that? Bird? He said, I just got finished telling Steve. I need Steve to come on over here and lay something down on this. And we were like, Steve? What Steve you talking about, man? He said, Steve. What Steve you talking about? He said, I'm talking about Stevie Wonder. Look, you wasn't talking to no Stevie Wonder, Bird. Stop fooling around, man. 45 minutes to an hour later, the doorbell for the studio rang. It was 2:00 in the morning by then.
Mm.
And here comes the guy, Gary or Greg, the cat that takes care of Steve.
Mm-hmm.
And a big limo, beautiful limo outside. And who gets out that limo? He goes back, open the door, and it's Stevie Wonder, man.
Wow.
And
I would have been floored.
Man, we looked at each other like, my goodness, he made a fool out of us because he was talking to Steve. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Steve came up, man, and he stayed maybe three hours or so, man. Had a good time. He plays drums,
Yeah,
he's a drummer
drummer.
too,
Yeah,
He
very good
got
drummer.
on the drums, man. He played some fly beats and he laid down some piano parts on the record, man.
Nice.
And it was really a beautiful treat to see him because he was such a
Yeah.
beautiful down to earth person,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Very, very
Wow.
wise and aware.
Wow. Yeah. So this is all what happened with Passion, with that studio.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember that in that community and university, we was one of the first ones to have our own cable station. And
Yep.
we're talking about what, 81?
Yeah.
Because I came in at 78. Yeah, 81 cable station and showing films of performance. These archives. We had in the studio when Dr. York used to, we had an intercom system that we can always speak with Dr. York, and he would answer questions. And also, he was letting us hear a lot of the stuff he was doing, especially in Arabic language.
That's right. And got lessons over that. We got everything over that.
Everything
That's
over
right.
that, man. Very powerful, very powerful. And this is all in Bushwick,
ahead
Brooklyn.
Of his time. That's right. Ahead of its time.
Ahead of his time. Tell us about the story, because we was talking before. You told me about that electronic drums. Tell me how that happened.
Yeah,
tell me about
Doc.
That.
Yeah, Doc used to get a mix magazine. He was, subscribed to me because for him, you wasn't going. It's like getting in the ring with somebody. You're not going to. He's like, his whole demeanor is like, look, you're not going to get in the ring and beat me, because you know why? I'm gonna be light years ahead of you in intel.
Yeah, that personality.
So if you can catch up to me, best man win. You can get it. But this was a cat. Doc is a cat that he did his homework, and he had that mix magazine. And anything that came out that was on the edge, technology, top at the edge, at the top of the edge, Doc had it. Doc got it. If Doc didn't have it, Doc got it. It wouldn't be in that mix magazine a week. If they put that thing in that mix magazine, it wouldn't be in there a week before Doc would have it in that studio.
Have that.
That's right. And know how to work it. You understand? Because that's a whole nother, the craft of learning how to operate all this stuff is a whole nother aspect. But he, he came to me one day. He said, listen, man, you saw this new drum set, Was? I said, what drum set? He said, you didn't see the new drums? I said, what drums are you talking about, man? He pulled out that mix magazine and showed me the Simmons SD5, which was this was the first model ever made of electronic drums, a set. Right. And he said, you see this? I said, wow. No, I should call him Pop. We call him Pop. I said, wow, Pop. Yeah, I said, wow, Pop. This is incredible. He said, I want us to have this, and I want you to go down there and buy it. And he gave me a few dollars. I went down there to Sam Ash and bought it. And I got news for you. When we went and we had a few shows to do. As a matter of fact, the next upcoming show we had to do was with Phyllis Hyman. And when Phyllis Hyman saw all of that technology,
that equipment,
she kind of said, hold it, who's this? Who's this guy, Dr. I mean, because the stuff we had the stuff that,
state of the art, a brand new
say the Beatles, the top artists in the entire world, only they had this. You understand? If you wasn't one of the top artists in the world, like Michael Jackson level, you didn't have this stuff because it was too expensive and it was very highly tech, But Doc had it. You hear me? Wow. And Doc made sure that we learned how to use it.
Nice.
He made sure that we took the time to invest and get the proper understanding of how to operate and use the equipment. And we always had the best. We always had the best sound. We had the best recording. Nice. We had the best equipment. We had the best information. That's who he was.
Yeah.
I mean, it still is. I mean, I don't want to say it in past tense like that. No. But that's that brother right there. That's that man right there.
Yeah, we got to experience firsthand, being with the man, hugging him, playing basketball, and like you playing with him, recording with him, and stuff like that. And I wasn't too into the music. I was into music then, but I wasn't too invested in what Passion was doing and stuff like that, except for reading the newspaper. He had his own newspaper, Passion News. I remember that. And he would come by and let me hear some of the tracks, him and Zemo and stuff like that. But I remember meeting, I grew up with the Stylistics and Blue Magic, and I remember meeting Ted Mills. And I said, let's sing for Blue Magic. I said, oh, shit. I remember meeting Ray Goodman and Brown. The Moments. I was a big Moments fan. And Felipe Wynn. Felipe from the Spinners. I didn't know who he was at that time. But when they told me, he sing with the Spinners, I was like, yo, and we just being around these brothers and on a personal level, we're talking and we're eating the same food and we're just chilling out over, you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
He built the stage, we had the tent, he built the stage, used to roller skate. Remember that song came out, Roll the Rock, something like that?
Yeah, that's right. Roll the rock, around the clock, don't stop.
Right, don't stop. Yeah,
Check
man, he was definitely ahead of his time. Right, the skate, right? Because we used to roller skate, and he used to play that. We had a DJ booth, and then play it. It was groundbreaking, man. But I used to always see you around. You know what I'm saying? And so did you work with anybody else besides Passion?
Yeah, man. Listen, let me tell you something. In the Passion studio, I met and we work with so many names. It's not even many names you can call that haven't been there that we work with. We work with Kashif. Don't Stop My Love. He wrote Don't Stop My Love for you.
That's right.
And he re-recorded it. Yeah. And I mean, and Kashif's got a heavy legacy. All of his stuff is great music. Leon Pendarvis, you know what I mean? Sarah Dash.
Sarah Dash from LaBelle.
That's right. William Hart from the Delphonics. You know what I mean? Yeah. Major Harris. Back in that era, those cats, They were hot at that
Evelyn
time.
King Champagne. I think Evelyn King
Yeah, that's right.
Champagne.
Champagne King, right? Yes,
Champagne
that's right.
King.
It's not many people that we didn't work with, and
Mm-hmm.
or we didn't perform with. So I met
Right.
a lot of people. I met a lot of people through Dr. York and Passion,
Mm-hmm.
and I recorded. I'm the one who on those a lot of those records. I recorded the drum beats. I programmed the drum beats on all of those the
Mm-hmm.
the Lindrum 9000, behind
Okay.
OB8.
Mm-hmm.
Because we didn't play only one record. There's real drums on, and that's "Don't Stop My Love." That was Yogi Horton. Yogi Horton used to work with Luther Vandross,
Okay.
and Yogi Horton is one of our famous drummers. Like all the drummer cats, we all know Yogi Horton. He
Mm-hmm.
was one of the greats. One of our heroes on the drums. Cat
Mm-hmm.
was like his grooves were so tight. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you can listen to "Don't Stop My Love" and you can see
Mm-hmm.
who
You can
Yogi
hear it.
Horton. Or you can listen to all of Luther's stuff and you can
Mm-hmm.
hear that's all
Nice.
Yogi Horton. All his
Mm-hmm.
stuff is nice. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I met a lot of artists through the studio, Passion Studio, and Dr. York.
Mm-hmm.
Worked with a lot of people. Lolas, we did everywhere. We did Leviticus,
Mm-hmm.
we did so many shows, and we did Apollo the week before, the week that Phyllis Hyman died.
Mm.
We were there Friday and she died Saturday. She had a show
Wow.
there
Mm.
Saturday. We were there
Mm.
Friday and she had a show there Saturday,
Mm.
and she died.
Yeah.
She didn't come to the show. That whole thing happened. Ale Hassalam on peace be on her. But
Peace upon
but
her.
yeah. So far I've worked with some other artists. I've worked with a cat that had a nice little record, a little local guy named Blackwell, Alfonso
Okay.
Blackwell, sax player. I worked
Okay.
with him. And in
Okay.
around 1990, since we had so much of a Blue Magic connection,
Mm-hmm.
when they started to uh, formulate their band in New York, based
Mm-hmm.
in anchored in New York, because they were
Mm-hmm.
they were straddling Philadelphia back and forth
Right.
with
Right. I know.
musicians, and some of them were living in Philly, and then some of them was in New York. So when they
Mm-hmm.
based themselves in New York, they knew that I was Pop's, drummer
Drummer.
for Passion and all. So, Wendell,
Mm-hmm.
Tahuti, Wendell
Windows.
Sawyer,
Yeah.
Musa.
Windows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wendell grabbed me up and said, "Yo, man, come on and play with the group." So I worked with
Nice.
them for about 20 years, off and on, because
Nice.
they had
Blue
they
Magic.
had yeah,
Nice.
Blue Magic. We did a lot. I did a lot of shows with them, and you know,
Nice.
and yeah, and then I worked as freelancing around with different artists, different other artists, sax players, and
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
right now I put my own record finally together
We're
because,
gonna talk
uh,
about that. We're gonna talk
uh,
about yeah.
you know, as an artist, as a drummer or
Mm-hmm.
backline person, a
Mm-hmm.
bass player or guitarist,
Mm-hmm.
you wanna work on something that can give you a little bit of a chance to express the music how
Mm-hmm.
you hear it and how you interpret it.
Exactly how you interpret it. But
Yeah.
before we get into that, because I definitely, I'm gonna put up your picture, your flyer up here in a few minutes. But
Oh, right.
I want to speak about. We had a dear friend of ours. Matter of fact, I spoke to Zemo today, who
Oh,
was one of
yeah.
the singers for Passion. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And his brother,
Yes.
Abdul Fatah, but is
My,
also known as Francisco Arroyo, right?
yes, Francisco
Frankie.
Arroyo. Frankie.
And yeah, well, I know that he influenced you a lot with the Latin rhythms. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
yes, sir. Yes,
Is
sir.
you know what I'm saying? So how
Yes,
was it?
sir.
Was it did
Well,
that
when I came to the Passion Studio, when I came to the Ansar University, I
mm,
was about 17 years old. I was a young guy.
mm, mm,
And when I got there, I brought my drums. I had a drum
okay,
set. And when I got there, people were saying to me, "Hey, this is not a place for music. You came here to study some universal sciences of other
right,
things."
right. That's what happened
So
to
I
me.
said, yeah. So I said, "Okay, I'm here, baby. I'm with it." So I didn't play the drums for a couple years. I bought the drums there and never saw it. To this day, I have never seen them no more.
Wow.
I never saw them again. So, I mean, because that was my level of sacrifice. And because of that, the karma came right back around.
Came right back around because it was meant for you to be that. That's you. You can't hide that. You can't deny it.
Marcelino and Fata, and Francisco, they came and got me, man, and pulled me and took me and put me in passing group.
Nice.
They were the guys who said, "Oh, this guy plays drums and he's pretty good too. Let's get him." So after that, when they put me there, it was always Francisco as the percussionist and me as the live drummer. So I stayed. We rehearsed from 9 in the morning to 1. From 9 in the morning to 1 in the next morning, 1 o'clock.
Wow.
I mean, there was very hardly any days that we rehearsed less than that. And I would say on average, 5 days a week. On average, we might get away the other 2 days, but I'm talking about 5 days a week. I mean, now we did stop every time that we had to do our prayer or eat our prayer for dinner or whatever. But other than that, it was rehearsal. And I mean, that was the tightest band. I'm trying to tell you, anybody who ever seen the tightest band that they've ever seen perform on stage, that was us. That's us right there. Nice. That was passion. And Francisco, man, listen, he used to say, "Hold it, Wasi. Stop. You see what you're doing there? You see what listen to this. Listen to this." And he would play the conga. He said, "Listen, this right here is the timbal. This is the clave. There's the clave. There are 2, 3. This is the 2, 3. And he break it down. He said, so now when I'm playing this, I want you to be playing that. And then when you hear me do this, blah, 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 then but this brother would break it down and explain it to me very clearly when I never even had a clue about how all these rhythms really fit. How they fit. That's right. Yeah. That's right. And the origin, he didn't only one thing about Francisco, look, he didn't only tell you about the rhythm. He could give you the history.
History of the rhythm.
He was not a joke. He was one of the most learned brothers in music and anything he put his hand on. This cat was a blessing. And I'm thankful to have been a part of his life and him a part of my life, because he taught me a lot when it comes to music and rhythm and the Latin rhythms, the mambo, you know what I'm saying? All of the different
let me share something with you. How I met him. When I came into the university at Ceelos University, I came in already, I recorded I was already recording with Funky 4+1 More. And and stuff like that. But when I came into the university, I just wanted to concentrate on the religion,
the teachings,
and Sufism, the teachings and stuff.
And
he found out that I played percussion. We started talking. He's like, "Yo, Boricua," blah, blah. So so he didn't believe me at first. So what he did, he took me up the block because his mom used to live up the block. He took me out there, secluded out there, and brought out his drums, and we started jamming. He was like, "Oh my God! Finally, I got somebody to jam with! Oh my God!" Because I came from that whole background, being raised by Cubans in the street, and it was rumba. Then we started playing in front of the Bushwick, in front of the fruit stand. We started playing, bro. And then of course, Dr. York will come. He'll play with us. He'll take us to the back, and he'll show us all these type of intricate rhythm. And then he'll say, "You do a 2-2, you do 3-4, you do 4-4." And then he put it all together, and he said, "That's how they do it in Africa."
Wow.
You have all these time signatures going on at the same time, and he mixed them in really good. Me and Fata was like, "Oh man," and bro, we had a great time. But awesome. He was like, he was so happy because it's like, "Oh my God, I got a conga play here. I could finally play rumba."
Yeah, man.
I was like, "Damn."
Yeah, man, because like when I grew up out here in Queens, they used to have cats that came out to the park.
To the park.
Yeah. Now when it comes to hipness, when it comes to being hip, you
Mm-hmm.
always can find in Harlem and the
Mm-hmm.
Bronx and Brooklyn, you could find that hipness.
Yeah.
Queens really didn't have a hipness. It had that
Mm-hmm.
music edge, the jazz edge,
Right.
because of the
Right.
jazz. But the hipness, like in
Yeah.
other words, the congaros, los congaros in the
Yeah.
park,
Yeah. The
that whole
Roombas in the
thing.
park. Yeah.
Rumbas in
Yeah.
the park.
You hear the
You gotta go to
guaguancó.
Brooklyn. You gotta go to Wawanko. You gotta go to
Mm-hmm.
Bronx. You gotta go to Brooklyn to get that. Harlem.
Yeah.
You can't get that.
Yeah.
There wasn't no cats out here. So I,
No.
I learned. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I
it's
learned a
great.
lot, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's great.
So
So do you
I
play other percussion too? I mean, as a drummer,
yeah,
you
yeah,
produce.
yeah. I could play timbales and I play the
Nice.
conga. I play the conga. I'm left-handed, so my
Okay, you
stuff is set up.
left-handed? Wow.
Yeah, I'm left hand. Left hand lead. My left hand is
Mm-hmm.
the lead hand.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and and Marlo was like that too. We used to call Pata Malo.
Mm-hmm.
Malo,
Oh,
tú eres
oh, you should
malo,
go malo.
malo.
To the
Yeah,
malo.
cause he bad,
Yeah, man, I
Tú
miss
eres
that brother,
malo,
bro.
tú
Yeah,
sabes. Sí,
yeah,
seguro. So,
yeah,
yeah, so Marlo played the drum left-handed too. He didn't play
yeah.
conga, he didn't play the conga that way, but he played the drums left-handed.
Oh, okay. And you
Yeah,
know what I loved about him? There was no competition because we understood this is a cultural thing, and we'll sit down, we'll play. I show some Colombia, and he'll show me some stuff he does, and most of the time I kept the rhythm for him while he just played his chops.
yeah,
It was
because
just
look,
great,
it's a
great.
conversation. It's a
It's a
conversation.
conversations. Yeah,
That's
good.
right,
Yeah,
baby.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
right and exact.
Conversation.
It's not competitive. It's a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Father used to tell me, that he would sit down and listen to how he learned, when he was young,
Mm-hmm.
growing up. He said, look,
Mm-hmm.
if they sat down and you came in the circle and played the drum,
Mm-hmm.
they start chanting, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you ain't saying nothing. You ain't saying
Mm-hmm.
nothing. And then you gotta get
Mm-hmm.
off. You gotta leave the
Mm-hmm.
drum. See, cause you
Mm-hmm.
ain't saying nothing. You ain't saying nothing. You ain't, you gotta
Mm-hmm.
be saying something on the
Oh
drum.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
can't
It's a
can't come in
language.
there.
It's a
That's right.
language, brother. It's
You
a
gotta
language.
come
Let's move. Let's move on to the present now. Now, yeah. Let's move into the present. Check it out. 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 Uh 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 uh. Uh 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 uh. Uh, 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 uh. Uh, 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 uh. Oh, you got the bumbo going on. Yeah. You got the bumbo. I always keep my clave. Yeah.
Hey, you gotta have it. That's your
Yeah.
heart.
You
That's
gotta
what's
have
in
the
your soul.
clave. Yeah,
That's what's
yeah,
in your
yeah.
soul,
So let's
man.
move, let's
I
move on to the present now because we're all dealing with this COVID-19. The reason why I decided to
Yeah,
do this to
man.
keep in contact with musicians,
Man, that's beautiful,
shed light
man.
on the shed light on their project they doing and stuff like that. But it hasn't slowed down for you with the COVID-19. I'm sure it slowed down
Yeah,
for
man.
everybody.
Yeah, it's another world right now. This is a
Mm-hmm.
world I've never seen before, man.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, the beautiful thing about a person like you know, you're bringing the love energy
Mm-hmm.
back into perspective. You're bringing happiness back into perspective. You know what I mean? The
Mm-hmm. Okay.
healing, because
Okay.
this music is our healing force. This is
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
therapy right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
and by you bringing this interview and these interviews that you're doing, it's compensating a lot
Mm-hmm.
for
Mm-hmm.
the overtone negative energy that's
Mm-hmm.
around us right now, around this whole
Exactly. They
planet
can't
right now.
stop
You know
us.
what I'm
They can't
saying?
stop. They can't stop this, bro.
I
It's
love
got
it.
to keep going. No disease, no COVID, nothing can stop this, man. We're gonna
I
do what
love
we
it, man.
do. We're
I'm glad.
born to do things like this.
I'm I'm so glad you're chronicling this because like I
Mhm.
told you before, man. If you don't
I
do it,
got that
brother.
from you.
If you don't
I
do
got
it,
that name
brother.
from you. Uh-huh.
Well, you
I
got
got
it,
that name
man.
from you. Musical
Take it.
Chronicle, Ceelos,
Take
Musical
it.
Chronicle. You're
Take
the
it.
guy. You're the one.
Take it. It's the
Thank you.
Hail Mary,
Thank
baby.
you.
It's the Hail
Thank you.
Mary. You gonna take it all the way.
Let me
Cause
ask you
there's no
something,
end.
Was.
There's no end.
hmm
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah, go
Let
ahead.
me
Kick it.
ask. Yeah. So these projects that you got coming now. Let me. I couldn't download your songs and stuff. But maybe later
It's
on I'll figure
okay.
out how I could
Yeah,
do
I'm
that.
not worrying about
But
that.
I do got something here. And while I put this up, I want you to let me know
Hmm.
the your social media. You're on social media, right?
Yeah, I got a SoundCloud, and they're gonna put it on Spotify. They're getting ready to put it on Spotify. I guess
Okay.
in a week or so. I gotta wait for them to clear it.
Okay.
And
So
matter of fact,
explain to me. You got
mhm,
what Drum Z,
yeah,
51st year Lex. What is
yeah,
that? Is that the new debut
okay,
single?
yeah. That's Wad Drums is the
Wow. Okay.
artist name. Wasi
Okay.
plays drums, so Wad
Okay.
Drums.
Okay.
And the name of that single is called 41st and Lex.
Mm. Is that
So,
jazz or what kind of
well, yeah,
deal?
it's a jazz. It's a smooth jazz, easy
Smooth
listening,
jazz.
smooth.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
and it's my debut record. It's my first record I've ever released.
Where
And
can we find that? You got like a social media? Where can we? If anybody want to hear your stuff?
well, you know what? They're getting ready to release it on. I had it released maybe about a few months ago, but there was some
Okay.
problems with how it was mastered that I wasn't
Okay.
too happy with. So I
Okay.
recalled it. But it's going to be on all the mediums. It's going to be on Amazon. It's on
Oh,
iTunes.
okay.
It's on
Okay.
Spotify. You know, every medium that
Okay.
streams me. And you know what? I even got it on SoundCloud because
Oh, you do?
for
Okay.
because for me, I'm not concerned to say to sell the record.
Right.
I just
That
want
feedback. You want to know what's yeah.
yeah, I want people to have an enjoyment of the record, and I
Okay.
just want the encouragement so that I
Mm-hmm.
can just make more music because
Mm-hmm.
my happiness is creating music and playing,
Okay.
playing the
Okay.
drums.
Okay.
So if I can get that, I'm happy. I'm not trying to
Right.
be,
So if I
R.
go to
Kelly
SoundCloud,
and
what name you appear on SoundCloud? Is Wasi?
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, Y drums. Y drums is
Y
the name.
drums. Okay, Y
Yeah,
drums with a Z
right.
at
That's
the end.
right. That's the
Okay.
artist. The artist is Y drums.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna put that on here. Yeah, that's nice. I'm gonna put it on my
Yeah, Y
comments.
drums. Yeah, and like I said, I mean, these days and times it ain't even about record sales anymore. Everybody
Mhm.
knows that because
Oh
everything is
yeah,
streaming, everything is coming
stream. Yeah.
through. Yeah, so it's more about just creating a fan base. People like your
Mhm.
material, and then if you're performing somewhere, people can come and spend their time enjoying a show that you put a nice dynamic show together for them with some good other musicians that have been waiting to get out there and do what
Mhm.
they do. That's all.
Mhm. Okay.
It ain't a big thing no more like years ago because everything changed. Everything
Yeah.
changed.
Everything big time. Big time. Big time.
You know.
Big time.
Uh, yeah.
Big time. I put check out Wild Drums on all social media. You
Yeah.
know.
That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And I'm
I and
sure
I
people
owe
contact me.
and I owe a lot. Like I said, going back to Dr. York and Passion,
Mhm.
I learned
Mhm.
a lot in the recording studio there.
Mm.
And and that when you listen to my record, I'm the
Mhm.
drummer on that record, and
Mhm.
because I have some musical skills, I played the bass on that record, bass guitar. I
Mhm.
played
Mhm.
all the keyboards on that, and
Nice.
I wrote the tune. It's
Okay.
my tune, and I recorded the tune and mastered the tune, mixed it and mastered
Oh, so
all.
you're proficient in engineering then. You know about engineering it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I'm trying to give the credit. I learned a
Mm.
great deal when I worked
Mhm.
at Passion, when I was there at
Wow.
Passion,
Good
because
school, yeah. Yeah.
that recording studio was the top. We were ahead of everybody. I mean, we were like Power
It was,
Station,
yeah,
man. You know what
yeah.
I'm
Well, like
saying?
I said, it was a university, and if you that's a music department in a university. It
That's
was a
right. That's
university.
right. That's
I
right.
went to NYU, and I wanted to be an acoustical engineer, so you had to study music technology. So that was, they were just at NYU at that time when I went there in 79, 80, 81. So at that time, the music department was just beginning to get
Evolve. Yeah.
involved. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Rick Rubin used to go to NYU. I knew him. Rick
Yeah.
Rubin, great
Yeah. That
producer.
sounds
You know,
familiar.
for
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Rick
Rick
Rubin did the
Rubin.
Jay Z. He did a lot of the stuff
Oh.
with Def Jam records in the beginning. The Jay
Okay.
Z,
Copy that.
Rick
Mm.
Rubin. Yeah, yeah. Used to
Right.
be a DJ, and he used to
Right.
stay at NYU, Samuel Hall, Fifth Avenue, and
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
always chill
Yeah.
out with him. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
some boy.
good. Yeah.
So yeah, it was a university. I tell everybody, and yeah, that was the music section, the music department. We had language, Arabic language teachers coming from overseas. We had Quranic classes, Sufi. Like every university also has like sorority and fraternity. We had our
The green light.
Sons of Green Light, right? Sons of the Green Light, SGL, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Sons of the Green Light. So it was, because when I had discussion with Dr. York, he was telling me, hey, this is one of the best universities you're ever going to go to. It's Billion
That's a
University.
fact. That
You
was
know
a
what I'm
fact.
saying? So,
Yeah.
we
A
would,
lot of
that's the
beautiful
way we used to
people. A
propagate
lot of
it.
nice
Yeah,
people
yeah,
there. A lot of
yeah,
great people there. I mean,
yeah.
good souls. A lot of
Hmm.
good souls. A lot.
That's true.
I know people there that have literally given their entire life, sacrificed their lives,
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
and,
And
and that's real. That's for real. That's not. That doesn't mean they were going to get something
mhm,
for something. It wasn't quid
mhm,
pro pro. It wasn't I give you something, I get something. They
mhm.
they did it for the
Because
purpose.
yeah, for purpose. They wanted to.
That's right.
It
That's
was
right.
it
For
was
the
our
purpose.
moment for us to shine
That's
and
right.
build something of our own.
That's right. And not only
Especially
and not only that, it was the intent to try to bring a different generation of mindset of individuals into the world.
yeah. And then,
To
like you
change
said,
some things.
you come into that community and that university, and if you into music, you had Passion Studio, one of the best studios there. Or you was into cooking, you can go to the restaurant where his mother used to be there cooking.
That's right. That's
That peanut
right.
butter chicken was bomb, bro.
Oh man, everything in
That
there,
woman used to cook. Man, she
everything in,
rested.
in both restaurants, in the
Yeah.
store, the Sami had over there,
Yeah. Then we built the Hall of
717.
Knowledge. Yeah, we built the Hall of Knowledge, and I remember Salim and Sisi from Senegal teaching us Quran, teaching us
Yeah,
Arabic. We had
yeah,
Arabic teacher, and we built, a lot of it was thriving, man. A big huge community, thriving,
yeah.
thriving, thriving. And it was all
Incredible.
self-owned, independent, self-owned.
That's right.
No money from no outside, except for the connection that we had with Sudan, because the prime minister of Sudan came to visit us. I shook his hand, I ate with him, we made prayer. And this is the prime minister, Saeed Sadiq, who just recently passed away.
That's right.
So, and you know what?
Mm.
I wasn't there, but I remember hearing throughout this community, Hamza Dean.
Hamzaddin, yeah, Ud.
Man, bro. Oh my God. Throughout the bookstore, the restaurant, it was all. And then I heard he performed
Yeah, that's right.
in there. I wasn't there though. Were you there when he performed?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, I
Oh
was there.
man,
But
Hamza
you know what?
Dean.
Yeah, Hamza al-Din. Yeah, he was from Nubia,
Mm-hmm.
Sudan. But yeah,
Sudan.
he was a great oud player. Yeah, a great oud player.
Mm-hmm.
The
And a
oud.
duff player too. Yeah.
Yeah, and a duff, and a
Oh
duff.
man,
Yep,
and a
yep,
duff.
yep. You know your stuff.
Oh man, I would have loved to be there, but he pulled out, because Passion also had its record company,
Right.
Passion Records, and he pulled out a cassette with Hamza Dean performance live there,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, I
And I
remember
was,
that. Yeah, yeah,
oh
that
man,
was very nice.
groundbreaking. To this
Yeah,
day, I still hear "It's Only a Dream."
right.
That's a
Yeah, so
pop
but you know
record
what?
hit.
When you listen to the oud and all of those instruments
Mhm,
from the Middle East and the Far East,
mhm,
those instruments are operating on quarter tones. You know that. The
mhm,
half,
mhm,
like in other words, from the white key on the
mhm,
piano to the black key,
mhm.
that's a
Would be
half
a
step.
half, right?
Well,
This
those
is like,
instruments in half of that.
yeah,
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 that's
yeah,
that's the
yeah.
scales. That's the scales that's in the East. So it's
That's,
a so it's
yeah.
beautiful to hear that because
Yeah, we
you
got
know
exposed to that
yeah, we got
constantly. We got
exposed to that.
exposed
Yeah,
to that type
that's
of
right.
music. That's why
That's right.
sometimes I have a hard time when we're dealing with other musicians who doesn't know about that,
Yeah,
it hasn't exposed to that type of music from the east, from
that's
Nubia, from
right.
Sudan, from the
That's
Nile
right.
River, because he was
Right.
from the
Even
Nile River.
right. Even
It's
East
difficult.
even East India. They're all on the
Mhm.
quarter tones and them odd
Yeah,
scales.
odd tones. Yeah, and
But
Puerto Rico too. The tres and the
the
tres.
tres. Uh-huh.
man, those
See,
tones.
the
I mean,
mandolin,
it's
that's right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The tres
And
is
and
just
and you
cuatro.
see it, that's right. And one of the, the stories about John Coltrane's playing
Mhm. Mm.
had to do with the fact that he bent the note.
You be able to bend that note. Yeah.
Yeah, see, hey, see now the thing is that that's what you hear. You only play what you hear. See,
Hmm.
so 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 when we want to talk about some spirituality, or we want to talk
Hmm.
about tones that we weren't taught, you see,
Hmm.
we
Hmm.
see the European scale didn't teach us. That's the innovation of jazz, and all the Latin jazz comes from.
Right.
The,
That's what
the
that. Yeah.
That's right. The innovation
Yeah.
is stuff
Mhm.
that we heard, that we were not taught. They didn't. It's not a part of
No.
their traditional curriculum.
Yeah, that's just the tone, their tonality. That's the tone,
Exactly,
cultural tone.
exactly.
You
That's
know what
right.
I'm saying?
So
Yeah, yeah.
that's
That's
very
deep, man.
heavy.
That's
Yeah,
deep, man.
yeah,
We
yeah,
could
yeah,
go, man, we could
yeah,
speak about this one time. I like to do a podcast just speaking about the spirituality and talking about tones and frequencies like that. But
yeah.
Wasi, tell me, so in today's day, um are you working with a band today? Well, I mean with the COVID, I know it's difficult, but
Yeah, I was doing some stuff with a good friend of mine who
mhm,
works with he works with a couple of artists. He's trying to put together his own record.
okay.
He's a bass cat. He's worked with a
Mhm,
lot of people, Freddie Jackson, Najee, and a
mhm,
lot of other
mhm.
artists. But I'm working with I'm just trying to do my own record since I can, since
Okay,
we do have a
okay.
break, since
Right.
I do have time, because
Right.
it
I
takes
can't
it
wait till
takes
this is over, the COVID, because a lot of
yeah,
good
me
music's gonna
too,
come
man.
out, bro.
Yeah, it takes so much time when you're working with your
Mhm.
music, because
Yeah.
you know the old-fashioned saying is that a producer's job is never finished.
Mm,
You like you're producing your record or your album,
mm,
and the saying is that a producer's job is never finished.
mm,
Is only walked away from.
mm. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see?
You gotta learn how to step away and leave it alone, let it take a life
That's
of its
right.
own.
That's
You
right.
got it on
Because
it.
you know what
Yo,
I mean?
wait a minute.
Because
I
yeah,
can,
see?
because if you get stuck in the studio producing and engineering, doing the mixing and stuff, you'll be there for I mean days just trying to hear something. You hear this, you hear that, and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you want to put some more instrumentation on it. After a while, you got to be like, wait a minute. I find that the best music has space in it. You know what I'm saying? Because I was speaking on my podcast, I was speaking to Derek Bell, a saxophone player, which I want to get into a conversation with you because you said you have the sax player for one of my favorite songs. But anyway, I was speaking to him and about that musicians don't realize that the rest is a note. You
Oh,
know what I'm
heck it
saying?
is. That's
Yeah,
right.
when you look at a paper, you got rest notes, quarter rest and 16 rest, so it's a note. It's just, the rest is important. It creates that space in the music. And I love space, man. I love
Mo-
space.
most most of the most influential musicians in the world
Hmm.
have made that statement,
Hmm.
and they've made that actual, like a
Miles
maxim.
Davis.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
Miles Davis, Thelonious Monk, is not where you
Space.
put the
Yeah.
notes, is where
Space.
you put the
Yeah.
space. And I just want to say real quick, if
Hmm.
you can, I don't know if you can jump off for about 2 minutes, but I need to go get my plug, because in 2 more minutes or whatever,
Okay.
I
Do what
I
you
think
got to
I'm
do. Do what you to
yeah,
do. Okay. And I'll
you can
put on
put
some
me
stuff
on,
up here.
put a commercial on, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
put it on. Go get my plug,
Okay, you good, you
and
good.
then
Let me
we'll
put this
finish it
back
out.
up here. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
but that
okay.
space, that space is a imperative issue.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Very important. Yeah,
Yes,
do what you got to do. I'll put this back up and
okay. I'll
do
be
what you
back in a
got to
couple
do.
minutes.
Jump up. Yeah,
Yeah, let
yeah,
me.
do what you got to do.
Mhm.
Well, we're taking a little break right now. Watch it be back. But yeah, we had some discussions, man. As you can see, the amount of experience there, man. Awesome. And I want you guys to check out his work. Again, I'll put it up. Well, it's there. Check out Y Drums on all social media. Go to SoundCloud. I'll put that up here too. I'll go to SoundCloud. SoundCloud. You're on SoundCloud. Y Drums on SoundCloud. Let me put that up here. Y Drums. Drums. Yeah, on SoundCloud. Yeah, SoundCloud. Man, for all my musicians friends, man, if you ever in the area of New York, I mean, you get in contact with me, I get in contact, and you got to build with the brother, man. And I like to do a concert up there in New York, and I'm definitely gonna bring up brothers, bring up my brothers. You know what I'm saying? Contact musicians. This is also a podcast where we can also let me see something. Yeah, this is a podcast where you can also make contacts. Check out some awesome talent around the world. You know what I'm saying? Around the world. So here, share the video. Like I tell everybody, definitely share the video. Like the video. Okay, like the video. Share the video. And right now we're streaming on Facebook Live, and also we're streaming on YouTube. You know, I should have told Wasi there's a way for him to shut his microphone and also his video. You know what I'm saying? But that's okay. You good, Wasi?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you that there's a way that you can shut the
I had,
camera
I had,
and the
I had all,
microphone off.
yeah, I had all,
Yeah,
I
but
had the
that's
band
cool.
downstairs with me to get the.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Strange how we
I'm not
forget.
gonna keep you. Yeah, I'm not gonna keep you
No,
too
it's all
long.
right.
For
I got things.
hmm
All right, I'm good. I finally got myself situated here.
hmm
All
So I
right,
see
so
yeah. So
got
like
my
I was
little
telling
cord.
everybody, check.
Uh,
Okay. To check
mhm.
your music out on
Thank you,
SoundCloud.
thank you,
And I put it
everybody.
on here
I hope you
too.
like that song. Do my best to give you some more nice stuff.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
good.
Y Drums on SoundCloud. There it goes. Check that out. Did I spell
Yeah,
it right? Yeah, Y
it's a
Drums
pretty
on
nice
SoundCloud.
song. The
Yeah, yeah.
guy,
And is that
one of the
so fine? There's one you did so fine. You said it's a sax player that played with
yeah.
what, bro? I was so in love with that young lady singing in that Jamaica
Oh yeah,
funk.
oh yeah, yeah. Heck yeah,
Ah,
man. That's
oh
right.
man.
Tony
And I
Brown.
don't.
That's Tony Brown. She died
Yeah.
earlier, I think last
Oh
year.
man. Didn't she used to sing with Shalom or with somebody else? She sang. She
I
sang
don't
with
know.
another group.
She could have did a lot of studio work. Once you
Oh,
get a
was it with a
record,
band? Yeah. I
everybody
know
looking
she.
for you.
Yeah. Also, a lot of those musicians on that, cause I seen the video, was a musician that backed up Marvin Gaye.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's
the keyboard
incredible.
player. Yeah, they backed up Marvin Gaye. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I
Marvin. Hmm.
Marvin was a hell of a joy. Was a drummer. Marvin Gaye was
Yeah,
a drummer. He
yeah,
did
he
all
was
the
a
work,
drummer.
all the work on the originals, that singing group, the
Yep.
originals, in the bell.
Ooh,
Oh man, that's it. I never hear the bell.
that's it. That's the
Dr.
tune.
York used to sing that all the time, bro.
Yeah,
And that was
that.
such a great tune.
Yeah, him and
And
Smokey. They wrote some
oh
great
man,
classics.
great
They wrote some.
classic. A brother didn't believe me because I brought the deluxe album for Let's Get It On, the deluxe. So
Yeah.
inside had pictures, and sure enough, when I look at the
Wow.
picture, I had Dr. York with Lady Choice and Marvin Gaye chilling out in front of a building. And I showed it
That.
to the brother was like, yo, let me get that. I was like, no. And we was gonna make a copy, put it on the internet. So said, look, Dr. Joy was that,
That's
bro. That's him.
that.
And like, yo, that's
That.
how, I remember the day that Marvin Gaye transitioned,
Yeah.
and
'84.
we all
Yeah.
did the Tabir, what was it, like
Yeah.
eight
Tuck
times,
there.
10 times?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's right.
yeah. For
Tuck
him,
there. Yeah.
because
Hold on.
Dr.
Yeah. Yeah.
York, Dr.
That's
York
right.
really worked with him
He
and knew
dug.
him, and
He dug Marvin, man.
big
You
time,
know.
big time, big time. Such a
He
talent,
he
such a
he
talent.
he loved Marvin. Marvin was
Yeah.
nothing like Marvin. Nice
hmm
cat,
So
man.
So you got so with this record that you're doing, so you got a sax player, are the musicians
Yeah,
that you
you
have on there, who you also you got on that?
yeah, what's happening is I was doing this tune.
Hmm.
It was basically I think I named it El Bateria. The bateria.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about the one for Francisco, yeah.
Right. So and when you're doing a tune most of the time, it takes time. Some people could do a
It,
tune in a couple
yeah,
days, a week. Me,
it takes its
I
own
have to do
forms, yeah.
little. Yeah, I got to do little bit at a time, little bit, little bit. It might
That's what
take
I
me
do,
a
yeah.
year. It
Yeah,
might take me a year to do one tune, and I'm cool with that because
yeah.
every time you come back to the tune, you got
Hmm.
new ears. You got new
Hmm.
concepts.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
might have
Hmm.
heard something somewhere else
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
can inspire you for your record. So, but
Yeah.
anyway,
So here's a
yeah,
question. When you
yeah.
write,
Hmm.
because do you have a set formula for writing, or like, do you hear the beat first and then you lay down the beat and then you come in with the bass, or or it just depends on the song? I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
what's the process like?
well, I think basically the best way to write, and it's not written in stone. It's just my
Mhm.
opinion. I think you should just do whatever you
Okay.
feel,
Hmm.
because you know why? Because I don't, I'm like more or less the Bruce Lee type of guy.
Hmm.
After all of the years, after maturing to that point
Hmm.
of
Hmm.
learning to be formless, to be
Hmm.
shapeless,
Shapeless, yes, I
to be
got
like
you.
water,
Hmm.
because to be
Water
empty.
becomes the cup. When
That's
it's
right.
contained a
To be
cup of
empty,
water
to
could
be
just
empty.
flow.
See, that's
Yeah.
right. Because when you empty, you can be
Mm.
filled.
Right.
But if you already filled, then can't put nothing in there. Everybody knows so much, you can't learn nothing.
Right. So it
So I
depends
mean,
on
that's just a metaphor.
right. So it depends
So
on how you're feeling then, and then you
yeah,
might
I
say,
mean
well, I
that
feel this beat, so I want to put this bass to that beat, or what I'm
exactly.
saying? Or I feel these
That's just my
chords.
opinion. Right. That's
Yeah,
that's
no,
not
no,
that's
yeah, yeah.
that's not
It's no
that's not
set.
for
It's no set.
everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't apply to everybody. Some people might want to just come in with they want to use melodies. They might say, "Look, I want to use melody. I want
Hmm.
to write my melody first."
Right.
And
And
if it's
then add
if
my harmony, my chords, and then add
that's
my
right.
rhythm.
That's
Yeah.
right. And
There's a
somebody
tune
might
that
say, "Look, hmm
There's a tune that I'm working on. I started with the clave, which I show you that,
there you go.
and then
There
I
you
added
go.
some shaker, and then I
All
started
right.
adding my vocal part on top because I used to hear how Marvin Gaye used to lay down, those tracks. You can actually download how like Marvin Gaye did some of those songs. How how it's in layers like a pyramid. Quincy Jones used to always say it's like a pyramid. You build, you build, you build, you build, build, build till you can't go no more.
That's right. And
You know what I'm
exact.
saying?
I
I
mean,
got to hear.
now,
Mhm.
yeah, there's a writing formula. Of course, there's
Mhm.
textbook writing
Mhm.
formulas. Of course, there's
Mhm.
writing formulas.
Right,
But
but
who
it's
wants
not.
to do that? You
No,
know,
right, right, right. You don't know. That's leave that
not
for
not when
school.
not when you want to be creative as a
Right,
creative artist.
it's true.
That's like sampling. If I
Mm-hmm.
sample something, it's not like I made that sound.
Mm-hmm.
When you sampling something, it was already made.
It was already made. Yeah.
But if you're the creator of it now, your
Mhm.
artistry is the fact that you could
Like
create that.
like the
Yeah,
RZA. When he created with
right.
the Wu Tang Gang, he took sound from different movies
That's
and
right.
sounds like sample, but he put it together in a way that only he can do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Yeah,
right, right,
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so my writing, I play piano a lot
Mhm.
because piano is you know like I said, once you learn to play some of these instruments, you find where your soul resonates with each
Mhm.
instrument that you learn
Mhm.
how to express yourself on. And because
Mhm.
piano is a harmony instrument as well as a percussive instrument,
Right.
I really have a ball playing piano. So
Mm.
some songs I really make up. When I'm gonna do a tune, sometimes that piano is where it all happens for me.
Mm.
But now, if I want to get into a funky mode, I'm not gonna mess with the piano.
Mm.
You
Okay.
know, now you're talking the rhythm instruments more so to say the bass and the drum. So you want to do something funky, you want to do a funky groove,
Yeah.
and then now you want to throw some nice chords on top of it.
Yeah. You know what we used to do when I was young? I even said in the podcast when I interviewed myself, we used to go into the hallways, right? And we used to vocalize our part on congas. Like, got one
Yeah.
brother going cha boom, cha boom, and then one go doom doom cha 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 doom doom, say boom doom doom boom. Boom, doom, 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 and then another brother's jamming. And we used to vocalize ourselves. And you know what's so
That's
interesting?
dope.
I got
But
to meet Bruce Sweden, so I got to hold some of the masters that Michael Jackson, the 2-inch masters that Michael Jackson did on Thriller, on Off the Wall and Thriller, because that Bruce Sweden was the one that recorded it. Quincy Jones. So he
wow.
recorded me on bongos doing some stuff,
Yeah.
and I overheard how Michael Jackson vocalized his rhythms. It's like he playing drums. He even took a kick drum case and started banging on that. And that's what he did. Can't stop to let enough. That
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
that's how he came up
Yeah.
with that
Yeah.
groove. That's Michael
Wow.
Jackson
Yeah.
playing bottles and all type of shit. He was a percussionist. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. He was
He was a
funky. He was funky.
percussion.
Yeah, he was a
He was
funky cat.
funky.
I know some cats that work with him. He was
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
he was on some stuff. He was
Funky,
really
funky,
on some,
funky. Do
and he
you
was
do that
very
sometimes? Do you do that? Like, do
uh
you vocalize your parts sometimes?
no. That was his approach, but that's
That's
not
his
my
approach.
approach.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
not my
All
approach.
right. Okay.
But nevertheless, how the genius manifests is just, of course, like I said, it's no form in it, no
No
shape,
form,
no,
no
it's
shapes.
formless. That
Right.
that genius is just that energy, bang, and it's
Hmm.
moving through you.
It's
It's
moving
just
right through
moving.
you.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
moving
I
right
always
through
say
you.
that.
So you
Yeah,
got to manifest. You got to, what is
yeah,
it making you
yeah.
do? What is making you
Uh,
here?
exactly.
You know.
Yeah. And you
That's
has
how
that
that
ever
thing
happened
goes.
to you on stage? Like you playing on stage or something? It's like you're overcome by something, and then you're like,
Yeah.
wow. When you look back and that was me playing that shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's right.
I
Yeah. That's
don't
right.
can't do it again.
Yeah.
I'm like,
That's right.
wow. That
Look,
happens, as musicians.
that's right. Look, I done some shows. The first
Hmm.
time I ever got scared on stage, I mean,
Hmm.
I was literally actually frightened,
Wow.
scared. I mean, adrenaline going through my body like crazy. That was that was a show we did, Dr. Yoke. We did a show. I think it was at I think it was at Lola's, 52nd Street in Manhattan, and
Mm.
the place was packed. I mean, when I tell you the place was packed, and when we opened up, and we doing all, man, you should have seen the people scream so much. It seemed like they were gonna.
Wow.
It's like they almost moved the building. That thing scared me so bad, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never been in a place. I never, performed in front of
Yeah.
people. That was, like around 80 or something like that. But,
Yeah.
but man, but I've done it. I've been on a lot of other shows before now where
Mhm.
that same thing happened. But man, that's over. That's a crazy feeling, man, to feel all that energy from
Right. When you're on
people.
the stage with Dr. York and his charisma and his that energy,
Yeah,
woo,
all that energy was
powerful,
coming out.
powerful, powerful. That's gotta be
We,
powerful.
yeah, man. We did a show in Switzerland, and it was the same thing, man.
Wow.
All these people, man. It was
Mm.
that was incredible, man.
Powerful, man. So you got to travel extensively with the music, and that's good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
man, I
all
got a chance. Yeah, but
music takes us
it's
around the world. Yeah.
yeah, and it's more appreciated. The art form,
Hmm.
it's like an orange. You're not gonna bring an orange from New York down to Florida. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm. Hmm.
So when you take your craft outside of America, that's where people really,
Appreciate. Yeah.
it's a real commodity.
Yeah.
When you're
Yeah.
in Germany, when you're in France, when you're in Spain, you know,
You become bigger than life to them. It's like,
yeah,
wow,
it's
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 like,
a real commodity. It's
mm-hmm.
just like when they bring something from Europe. When the Beatles came over here, it was a big
Hmm.
deal.
Big deal. Yeah. That was my first
So
experience. I seen them
yeah,
on
with
TV.
John Lennon, yeah,
Oh
Ringo.
God, when they came off of that airplane and did that concert and then they televised it on TV, I was like, why? I
That's
want to
right.
hold your hand. I want to
Yeah,
hold your hand.
that's
I
right.
was like,
Hey,
yo,
dude.
like I was
Dun,
like
dun,
5 or 6
dun.
years old.
Do, do,
Yeah,
do, do. Yeah,
great, great stuff. I mean, and I know that a lot. That one thing about Dr. York when he had his a newspaper, he spoke about a lot of the tones and frequencies. Even now,
yeah,
when you read a couple of stuff that's out now, he talks he's big on tones and frequencies. And
yeah.
about how the Beatles use a lot of the Druids tones and frequency in
Right,
their music.
right.
Later on I began
Mm-hmm.
to hear it, how that was. And that was their culture,
That's right.
that was the
Yeah,
Druids,
that's
that was
right.
their culture.
Yeah, the Druids.
You know?
Yep, the
So they were
Druids.
able
Yep.
to transform that into rock, because they use a lot of
Right,
rock from American rock, from Chuck Berry,
right.
what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So
Mick
but they
Jagger.
added, yeah, they added that those Druid tones in there.
Right, right. Yeah, there's some
Excellent
tones
writers,
that
man.
resonate. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
sure.
excellent writers. Was
Mm-hmm.
able to do that. Yeah, man, great.
Yeah, there's
Um,
tones that stimulate certain nerve centers in the human,
mhm,
like a dog would howl.
mhm,
The human
mhm.
beings have certain tones that stimulate your sympathetic nervous system, your
Yeah,
lymphatic
yeah.
system, or the whole bit.
Well,
The
there's a whole,
qigong,
there's a whole industry on that. Healing through music. You know what I'm saying?
right,
And that's how I look at all musicians. I look at all musicians as healers too. You know what I'm
right.
saying? I speak extensively, man. I speak a lot about that in some of my podcasts. I talk about the energy centers that we have,
Yeah, the
and and
chakras.
and,
Yeah,
and yeah, yeah. Well, I don't lean more to China, the Indian thought. So I try to just use
right,
energy centers, comedic
right.
energy
That's right.
centers, and
That's right.
natural
That's right.
nature. It's natural for us to resonate.
Right.
You know, in nature, things resonate. And so we have ability to
Everything is
speak our
resonating. Yeah.
truth and play our instrument. We resonate. You know what I'm saying?
Right and exact. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and that's that. Very big on
That's
that.
right.
Very
Yeah.
big on that.
Yeah, that's
Wasi, I
very
mean,
that's
mhm,
very powerful. That's very
mhm.
powerful information. Hmm.
Yeah, I'm hopefully to put out a book about that, man. Is there any book
Please
that you're
do.
gonna be writing soon or anything
Please,
about your
please, please
experiences?
do. Who, me, man? I don't
Yeah,
even have no time. Basically,
yeah.
I have to get one thing done at a time.
Okay.
Because all of these endeavors are such an
Hmm.
undertaking. Each
Hmm.
endeavor. When you want something to be right, it's
Yeah,
gonna take time.
takes time. I know. I
That's
know.
all I gotta say. I don't care
Yeah,
what you're
no,
doing.
I'm a
It
big, yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
you know.
that's
So if
true.
I get there, if I live long enough to get to the book, maybe
Hmm.
I can have a contribution to offer.
Yeah, well, you have a huge, I mean, but this discussion, you have a huge historical background, bro, and a good feel, man, and the school that we come from, what I'm
Oh yes,
saying?
sir.
It's a spiritual school, what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
Very
Yes, sir.
spiritual. That university taught us a lot, what I'm
Oh
saying?
yes,
We
sir. That
graduated
that
after a couple of years,
that's right and exact. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hmm.
That
Hmm. Hmm.
university was was unbelievable because the time that it came, when it
Yeah,
came,
yeah,
who it came to, who it attracted,
true.
who took, who was able to get from it, and
Hmm.
utilize those tools
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
to 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 mature into whatever they had to manifest.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
it's it's incredible because if we
Hmm.
go back into the whole history of so many people, there's not one person that I know that came through that university that
Hmm.
when
Hmm.
they assimilate out here into the world,
To the world, yeah.
that they're not exponential individuals.
That's
You
deep.
heard me?
That's deep. Yeah,
I'm talking
that's
about
deep.
every everything if they put their hand on out here, if they do
Hmm.
something, if they do an undertaking,
Right.
it they are
They had
always
the best of
exponential.
example. The best
That's all
example.
I can say.
They had the
That's all
best
I can say.
example.
I could go
Um,
down a list of cats' names,
we see
and
miracles, bro.
every industry that they're in,
Yeah.
they're the most
Excel.
like, they're the
Yeah.
best
Excel.
at it. They have
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
best approach to it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're in the highest demand.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
the truth.
That
That's the
was
truth.
the yeah. That was
That's the
all that
truth.
university, all that exposure, and then for the the head of that whole university, community, groundbreaking, such a charisma, you know what I'm
Word.
saying?
That's the real truth.
Such a charisma, such a powerful individual, and we
Yeah.
and he was teaching us all that we were powerful, and we were powerful individuals. We all have this ability, you know what I'm
Yes,
saying,
sir.
inside
Yes,
of us.
sir.
We just,
Yes,
and he
sir.
was trying to get the best out of us, any which
That's
way
right.
possible. And that's great.
Right and
That's
exact. That's
great.
I
That's great.
agree. I agree a
And,
hundred
and
hundred
music,
plus percent.
yeah, 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 yeah. You know.
Yes,
So
sir.
you
That's an
got
actual fact.
you working on some music now.
I got about 8 songs
Oh,
that
okay.
are
I was
of
gonna ask you.
yeah, I got about 8 songs that are about maybe about a month away from finish.
Okay. Okay.
And I mean, these are some really nice tunes. Really, really nice.
Right.
Really,
Mhm.
really nice tunes. But this is my record is I did that song 41st and Lex.
Mhm.
That's like a crossover song for me. Most of the
Okay.
songs, most of the stuff you're gonna hear from my record is
Mhm.
gonna be more of an artist's view. It's gonna be more
Okay.
of for
I
musical minds,
see.
for percussionist minds.
Right. I started hearing a little bit because I was trying to download it so I could play it on here.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
for
it's
some reason,
okay.
like I said, it's got to be MP3. But
Nah,
I
don't
heard
worry
but
about
the
it.
beginning of it is interesting because it's like you set the stage, the
Yeah,
scene. It's like a
yeah,
movie. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Well, you know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Like you're in a cab. I don't know. It was like you're in
yeah,
the cab.
yeah,
You put people in the city. I'm like, yo,
yeah,
I like that. I like that. I
yeah.
like that. That you were able to think, visualize your music. It's like a scene in a movie, man.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
powerful, bro. That's
a
that's
little,
powerful, bro. I said, yo, this is good. So tonight,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna give it a good listen. You
yeah.
know,
That's great, man. That's
because I
great.
didn't
That's
have
great.
time. I'm gonna give it a good
Can't tell you
listen.
how much we appreciate you, man, CeeLo. You
Hey,
you know
man.
you don't even know, man. You don't even know,
Mm,
man. For you to take your
Just
time and
yeah,
spend your time and invest your time in doing this, man. I can't tell
just
you
sharing what I
how
can.
grateful
Yeah,
I am.
yeah,
And
yeah.
for one,
Just yeah. I
have the
think that
opportunity, man, to talk
right.
about these things.
You know, I mean, like I
That's
said,
real.
it's just shedding, light, and we have, as musicians, as a community, you know just connecting, what I'm saying, like I was
Right,
saying when
right,
you were gone, I was saying that to all my fellow musicians out there. You up in New York, you need a drummer, bro, you let me know. I call Wasi, boom, you know what I'm
right,
saying.
right, right.
You can
Network,
connect,
yeah.
and you want to
Yeah,
go abroad, you want to go to Europe, after everything gets is done with, and we're able to travel again and go play a concert in the States, a concert here. You need a drummer, bro. Hey,
right.
Wasi, is he available? To
Yeah,
connect.
yeah.
You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying? So
That's right,
so
man.
we're building something here, and also,
That, great.
I'm starting to get some ideas and start writing them down, and start doing some composition all over again.
Yeah,
I've
that's
done I've
cool,
done
man.
I've
That's
done some in the
cool.
past, and it won awards too. So I've done something in the
Well, guess
past,
what?
and I want to
That
get
that's an awesome. Yeah, that's an awesome blessing you got in awards because, it's just telling you to keep on, do some more.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
Which I was like,
do it.
what?
Yeah,
Jazz
do a
award for
thousand.
this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
do
Well,
do do 1,000 songs if you can.
yeah, yeah.
Give yourself that. Put that on the top of your list. Say, look, I need to do 1,000 songs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's
really.
how you do it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's how you do. I mean, you may
And
not
I'm just
even
not
get
looking for
there.
no rewards or anything. I'm just looking
Yeah,
to
that's right.
express, like you said, resonate,
That's right.
and give some can't share that with the world. Resonate. You know what I'm saying? Because
That's right.
that's
Your
our
contribution. Your
birth given right.
contribution.
Right.
That's
That's our
right.
birth given right. Resonate and
And
these things.
it's a part of your own self-expression. Because music affects you, rhythm
Mhm,
affects you to that degree that
mhm,
you have a contribution.
mhm. Let me ask you a question. Any little Wasi out there?
No, I don't got no little what
No
students or
little?
children.
No children. You have
Which
any
one?
children?
Yeah, I have two stepchildren
Are you
that I
teaching
have.
them music?
Uh, oh no, man.
No. Yeah.
I figure, you know, I'm not. I go for the nature,
If
whatever
they want it,
they're attracted.
yeah,
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 whatever.
yeah, exactly. Don't
Because,
push anybody. Yeah,
exactly, you know, whatever
yeah,
they're
gotcha.
attracted to, you know, I have to support what they're attracted to,
Support
because
and
that's
nourish
something
that.
they're gonna
Gotcha.
do. You
My
know,
light went off.
they ain't gonna
Yeah,
they ain't gonna they ain't gonna do what I want them to do.
yeah,
I would
yeah. You're
like
right
them to
about
do
that.
other things. I got a
Hmm.
lot of nice things I would love them to do.
You can see me, but my light went off. I don't know what's up with this LED light,
Yeah, I
but you
can
still
see
see me
you.
though. Okay.
But if you have a I don't know if you got a phone in your area, might be able to put the light on. But I could
No,
see you
I don't
well,
know.
man.
You can see me. Okay. And
Yeah,
we're gonna. I don't want to keep you too long, man. We're gonna wrap it up in a few. It's
good.
nice. I
Okay.
mean, this was an honor speaking with you,
Yeah,
man.
likewise, man. Listen,
And,
I can't tell you how much I appreciate the opportunity, my brother, and
yeah,
basically seeing you and knowing that you have recovered from being knocked off a little bit. You know
yeah,
that
yeah,
definitely, you know, I
yeah.
definitely want to see you
Mhm,
in the best
mhm.
of health. You know,
Right, right. And this helps while healing too. You know what I'm saying?
of course, it's a
Connecting
therapy. Yes,
again,
sir.
and man, this is just such an honor, man. You're a great musician and great
Likewise, the pleasure,
person,
man.
and great
Likewise, the
person, and
pleasure. You know,
definitely,
I
like I
take
said,
no
when I get
credit.
set up, man, I'm gonna send you some tracks, bro, and it's
Oh yes,
likewise,
yeah. Oh
boom,
yes,
boom, I'm
yes.
in there, You know what
Yes,
I'm
yes,
saying?
that's easy.
I'm in
That
there.
not never nothing more said. You know, you as soon as you
Mhm.
got that door set up, I'll
Yeah,
send you some sessions. I'll send a whole session. You open up the session and do what you got to
mhm.
do.
And do what I gotta do. Okay,
That's
that's
right.
yeah. Definitely,
Be-
definitely to look for the future on that.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
you wanna close us out? Anything else? Anything you wanna touch
Yeah.
upon before we?
I just want to tell all the listening audience,
Mhm,
brothers and sisters and so forth. I want to tell everybody to remember to protect yourselves and the
mhm,
ones you love, and you
mhm,
know, help each other, love each other,
mhm,
and don't say
mhm.
it, do it. Don't say it, practice it. You know, don't talk about it because we talk enough. I'm older now. I done
Mhm,
said everything that could be said under the sun. Talking is
mhm,
over.
mhm,
It's about
mhm,
us loving each other. Show the love.
mhm,
Support
mhm,
brother CeeLo. Support him any way he needs to support. You can ask me for anything. See,
mhm,
you know that
mhm.
at
I
any time
appreciate
of the
that.
day or
Same here.
night.
Same likewise. Likewise. I'm here
Don't
for you,
ever
brother.
feel. Do not ever feel that you can't,
Mhm,
or I have any kind of judgmental look on you. But I do not. Nah, man,
mhm.
that's out.
Well,
We come from
we.
a different school, man.
Mhm, mhm.
If I can't
And
help you, I can't even help myself. So don't, you know.
there's so much more that we can do, what I'm saying? So much more that we're going to be learning, so much more that we're going to be doing, what I'm saying? And I'm looking forward to that, bro. I'm looking
That's
forward to that
awesome.
all the way.
That's great.
You know what I'm
That's great.
saying?
That's
So,
great.
and likewise, anything you need, I'm here for you.
That's right.
Just
That's
can't
right.
wait.
We
I
got to
can't
be
wait to
family, man.
I
That's
can't
right.
wait to get
We
together
got
with you.
too many
We're going to be
people.
on that same stage together.
We. That's right. Look, we got too many people for any one of us
Mhm,
to have to be struggling or want or need for anything. We know we got too many brothers in our family, in our universal
mhm,
family,
mhm, mhm, mhm,
in our family of universal knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. We got too many human beings there
mhm, mhm,
that any one of us should be in any kind of situation that
mhm,
is stressing us and making us suffer. You know, so there's no
mhm,
excuses at all. You dig
mhm.
it? So that's all I gotta say. I don't want to make a long
Okay.
drawn out thing out of
Yeah.
it.
Well,
You
Wasi, it's
know,
been a pleasure, man. It's been a huge pleasure, bro. Especially, your upbringing, all the powerful, powerful influences. And also
yeah,
with the Dr. York
grateful.
experience, man.
Yeah,
And for those people, man, you gotta check out those CDs he made, Dr. York. You gotta check out those songs, and this is a legacy. And we're gonna
yes,
keep that alive, that legacy. So hey,
that's
thank
right.
you very much, my brother. If you
Peace
know how to
to
end
the
the
family.
podcast, you could go ahead and end it, and I end it on my end.
Yes,
Okay?
sir. Yes, sir. All right. See you a little later.
Saludo. All right, peace,
Bless you,
my
Ak.
brother.
All right, hotel.
Okay, hotel.
Yes, sir. Yeah, fine on my mind. Something.
Well, there you go. Powerful interview, man, with my brother. Powerful. I mean, this brother, I mean, like I said, that was the era time that, that Blue Magic and man, you got to check out that music for everybody. And Dr. York, and there he goes. He's let you know how this man was serious about his music, and that's what made for those brothers and sisters today, that was the catalyst, the groundwork that was laid, especially the work that the man did with tones and frequencies and learning about music and the different tones he was getting from the different schools of thoughts out there, man. It's just groundbreaking. And I learned that. I was there. I was exposed to that, and I learned it. And I heard, the man vocalizing and trying out different vocals. Thing. I was learning this from cats from Sudan or from Mecca, Sudan. If you ever check out how the way they recite the Quran, and they do it in different schools and sessions, what they call Taweed, man. And this man was learning that and was powerful voice. And he used to tell us, yeah, it helps in learning how to open up the voice. So that's a school. And like I said, that was the Ansar Allah University. We did a lot. The music department there was huge, immense. Ahead of its time. You know what I'm saying? I was more in the business aspect. Business school, and also the religious school. The spiritual schooling. Well, we were all intermingling anyway. All intermingling and doing the same thing. So anyway, there you go. Peace and blessing. Make sure that everybody like the video and hold up, like the video, okay, and share the video, share it, man. And then here you go again. That's my brother, Why Drums, and that's one of his songs, 31st Street and Lexington. It's nice, man. Like I tell you, it's like a movie. You check it out, it's really nice. And so, we're going to end this podcast. I thank everyone. Dan Bui, which means I love you. Dan Bui. And to my Savior brother, Shook, what I'm saying, very much. Shook. It's divine love. Amores, amor y paz. To my Spanish speaking people, my Sabians, I shook. What I'm saying? And, and peace. I'm out.